Chris, there's so much to be proud of there. It's 12 minutes, 14 minutes of added time, a hard game, 10 men for 40 odd minutes as it turned out, and we've won the Cumbrian Derby.
Oh, it's been a long time, hasn't it? How long has it been? 56 years? So there's a lot of pride in that performance, I think, from the players. Obviously playing Barrow on I suppose, a crest of success in terms of last season. And you could see that, the way they're quietly confident how they're trying to play football. But our tactics were bang on. We knew what we needed to do. We knew how to do it. And we did it. We got our noses in front. We missed several chances in the first half to be a good 3-4 goals up. But we weren't. And then, of course, we had to play the condition. Without going into it too much, play the referee. And obviously play the opposition with 10 men.
You've nailed it there with the tactics. They were a threat, but we pretty much nullified all of the threats that they had until the sending off.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, other than what was quite good for us was the fact they took time on the ball when they had more time, but they should have moved it quicker, and the bench were getting frustrated with that. But of course, David's played Premier League football, so that's what you need to do against 10 men, keep shifting that ball. But they took more touches, which enabled us to get back in shape a little bit without actually extending ourselves too much. But they did have a couple of ricochets that went our way, but they had a lot of aftermath of that ricochet where it's definitely a goal kick and ends up the corner.
Home is definitely where the heart is. 6 points, 2 clean sheets, something that is going right here at Brunton Park.
Well, we've conceded 1 goal, haven't we, in 3 games. We've won our last, like you say, the league games, we've won our last 2. And not conceded, which is good. I do want us to score more goals, but I think, to be fair to JJ, he's missed probably 2 of the easiest chances he's had for a long time with his header and his great skill to put the ball through the centre half's legs, and decided to take it early on the outside of the right foot. He probably had more time, go an extra yard and just pass it sideways into the goal. But it's strange really. We've recruited a lot of young players, and obviously JJ came last season. And it's great that they're getting rewarded with international call-ups, etc. But I'll be honest with you, I'd rather he be here next week playing Port Vale, and I'd rather he score 2 goals today. But he hasn't, so it's a learning curve for him. But it just goes to show the type of players we've recruited are good ones.
A great build-up and a great finish, a good goal all round from us.
Oh yeah, tremendous. And because Gav said to me, why are you swapping Jimmy from right to left? Because we scored from that side, and he had Brown. He had Brown on Tulsa fullback, but I know Brown from the past, and he's a good player, very committed. But he's also a bit of a wind-up merchant, and I could see him pulling Jimmy's leg. I could see him trying to wind him up because Jimmy had the upper hand on him. So he's basically trying to get him off track by upsetting him with a little bit of the dark arts as such. So I'm glad I did that, because I wanted to make sure Jimmy stayed on the pitch with discipline, because he's been a big player for us signing him. But so the other ones that unfortunately can't be available for today. So it's mad really. Your pace, power, your quality. Yeah, they'll be back, but we'll have more, and hopefully we'll have more and stay together longer, and then we can work on different things within the game.
The one criticism you've already mentioned, we could have been out of sight before the sending off with the quality of the chances that we created.
Well, yeah, it was good, because like I said, Barrow play expansive football, and they did. But we knew who we wanted to leave on the ball, we knew where they'll try and play the ball, and we knew what we wanted to do when we got it back. And we did it. Of course it got harder after going down to 10 men and feeling like you're not really getting any sort of support from the ref. But there was one key decision where it could have gone either way with Gavin Riley on the edge of the box. The ref could have given a pen, he didn't, he gave a free kick for diving. But their bench were adamant it's obviously a penalty. But in terms of levelling out what's gone on in the game, if our players are getting booked, none of our players really dived, and there's no diving going on from us, no screaming and squelching of a foul, and we were getting punished for that. So it probably, I don't think it did level out, because I still think it's structured against us in terms of what we could have got from the ref, but it happened and we still won.
Got to ask what you saw from the red card incident. The card was out fairly quickly.
I think he's reacted to the players' reactions. I've actually looked at it because I can, but I can't show the ref. I'd like to look at that. I've asked the referee to look at it. Obviously, I don't know if you play with your kids in the lounge, but if somebody's falling on you and your knees are bent, you definitely put your legs out to stop somebody just landing on your, your crown jewels, don't you? So Aaron's basically gone for the header. He's underneath somebody, they're falling on him, and he's trying to protect himself. Violent conduct is to actually push your 2 feet out and say, like, have some of that. He 100% isn't doing that. You can see that in the footage. Whether they look at that like that, I don't know.
Sounds like an appeal.
Well, I'd like to, because I feel hard done by.
And like we said earlier, over 30 minutes as it turned out, because of the added time, which went to 14 minutes, that we have to play with 10 men. That is a really good character trait from the boys to see that through.
Well, I love that one where they've got 12 minutes added time, but we'll add an extra minute on anyway. I love that. What was that all about? Amazing. It's frustrating. But I suppose when I go home and calm down a little bit, I am really proud of the players. I'm so, so thankful that we can honour, like, the chairman. He's been in Cumbria all this time. Obviously his life's here, and the derby's not been for that long, and he sits there watching us play, and it's great that we've won it. I feel like we've done that for him and our supporters, because the supporters, I've often said, they're great supporters, and what a great occasion it could have been, because no doubt if they're in this building today, they would have 100% helped us. And often managers talk about the 12th man after a game because they've gone down to 10, and we didn't have that today. So great credit to the lads and the players for sticking in there. I was really pleased with substitutes, obviously supporting the first starting 11 efforts.
I'm guessing you would have got Connor on under different circumstances, but it turned out not to be that type of day.
I don't know him that well, to be honest with you. I mean, I know him in terms of recruiting him from what I've seen. He's got a beautiful glider of past players, young and hungry and ambitious. So yeah, in a game like that, possibly. I thought the midfield was excellent. John's winning his headers and tackles that I keep telling everybody he does. And he'd done what I knew he'd do. He scored against Fleetwood pre-season. It's a great header today. I mean, that's a proper Brian Robson, get in the box, see you later goal. So I hope he's very proud of himself tonight, because I have a lot of friends now in Cumbria, thankfully. And they were telling me he was getting some stick last week, which I'm not too pleased about, but well done, John.
That's why you moved him to that midfield position. He had that type of game that you saw he might have.
Well, I only moved him there because I don't like my centre halves taking everybody on, and he just dribbles. He constantly dribbles. So and he's very. I'll get me distances today off Greg, the sports scientist, and I have no doubt John Mellish will have covered more ground than anybody, because he does every day. He just can't help it. He just runs and runs more.
Last couple, Dean Furman not in the 18 today.
He picked up a knot. That's why he came off last week. I wanted to keep him on at Scunthorpe, especially when we're trying to get an equaliser, because he started displaying a decent left to rights to Ethan Walker. But he was carrying it. I could tell he wasn't him. He wasn't Dean. So yeah, unfortunately he didn't make it. Let's see what happens next week.
And no time to breathe. Sunderland, small matter of a fairly big club to go up against on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's highly unlikely we have a chance of qualifying, but it doesn't mean to say you write the game off. And it gives me opportunity to play players that have been supporting these players that you've seen play, because they're really, knocking on the door saying, "Hey, Gaffer, any chance of giving us a game?" So it'd be interesting to see how they go, with a bit of an opportunity to definitely not write the game off. But of course, you've got to be mindful that they train real hard, and I've got to make sure that our squad stays competitive and give them a chance.